For some reason that didn't happen. All right, sorry. Smoke. Oh, yeah, you did it. There is an empty bag up there.
Making things with Bill and jury duty and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
At the top of a crummy staircase on the second floor of a sleazy apartment building. Now a new character enters your tragedy.
This is The Morning Stream. I'm bleeding to death. Humor me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMS. It is The Morning Stream for Tuesday, February 5th. February 5th, 2019. Sorry.
1920.
Oh, yeah, we're the flip of the 1920 now.
We are, yeah.
That doesn't
It'll
happen
be
very
really
often.
good when it's 3019. We'll be able to do that.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on a second. So next year's 2020.
Right.
There's no 2020 in the past. That's cool.
Well, there's no any of these years in the past.
Well, that's what I'm
Scott.
saying. No, that's not what I mean. Like 1820, you could say 2018 and 1820 were swappable.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, because the front half and the back half. Like, this hasn't happened since 1919,
Yeah.
Scott, where...
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I mean, then next year you can't
cool.
do it anymore. There was a 1919. Right. No, I know there was a 1919. That's not what I mean. So you can go 20... Hold on. Yeah. 2018 was for 1820.
Sure.
2017
was 1920.
2017 was 1720.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go backwards, but you can't go forward after 2020. We're done. That's it. Right? Because there's no other 20s.
Oh, I see. Because when we have 2021, we won't be able to go backwards to say 2120.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Or even back to 2020. We're literally at the median. We're at the middle.
Right.
Oh.
We're basically the well, at least until 30-01.
Oh,
you
right.
know, and then it'll be 130.
Yeah. Right. And we'll be dead, you and I. We won't be here. No way we survive that.
Oh, I guess actually, no, it's even before that. 2101 will be 121 will be the first. So 2101 will be the first time, or 2100 will be the first time.
Right.
Or the next time that happens.
Unless we go BC. No, you can't even do that. That doesn't work either. Yeah, well, whatever.
Well, you technically could.
Could you?
Could you just say that,
going?
Yeah, there was a 2020 BC, so...
I guess you could, yeah. Because that would just keep going back.
I can't... We are so far down, I can't even see light anymore at the top of this rabbit hole.
I like it. It's fun. It's a fun little brain experiment. Hey,
by that time, we're going to be using Stardate anyway.
Oh, thank goodness. We need to get away from this.
It'll be so much easier to switch over to Stardate.
Yeah, I wonder, in the Stardate universe stuff, Star Trek stuff, do they count? They don't do the ACBC stuff at all, do they, anymore? Do they just go, do they throw that out? Like, if you're back on Earth and you're hanging out at, I don't know, you're hanging out at Starfleet, does everyone stop for the holidays because it's December 25th and you celebrate Christmas and you still think of the year as what it is and everything?
Totally. Yeah, but instead of it being December 25th, it's Stardate 1/6/1843 boron or something like that.
Right. But
by the way,
yeah, go ahead.
Can I say that the Star Trek episode I want them to do, and it can just be a one-shot episode.
Okay.
I want the episode where they convince the people of the world to switch to the new date system.
Yeah, dude.
And the freak out, like, if we thought Y2K was bad, I can't even imagine the mayhem that's going to inspire around, all right, we're going to use Stardate now.
Yeah.
Or is Stardate only in space? Did they use Stardate on Earth?
Well, that's the question. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Did they use it on Earth? And would Earth just continue on its happy way with the old way as a tradition and not worry about it? Because you still have your 365 and your 24-hour days and, you know, all that. So maybe it didn't change. I don't know. I mean, it is Star Trek, so since it's fake, it's hard for us to say. But there'd be like an Earth date. There'd be like a Mars date, you know?
Swipe left for a Mars date.
Yeah. Ooh.
Here we go. So Stardate 47457.1 would be the equivalent of Oh, either June 16th, November 4th, January 8th, or January 10th, depending on how you count. So,
really? See,
this is crazy.
This is more complicated. In fact, think of it this way, Brian. You're in the hallway of the Starship Booby Prize, and you walk up to me and you go, "Hey, do you know the date by chance?" Yeah, it's 4589 p. Like, that's terrible.
Right. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, the original Trek series. Basically, star dates were completely bogus. So writers were told to basically wing it. Pick any combination of 4 numbers plus a percentage point.
Yeah, but what about the new? What about the newer ones?
Then they started making it real. So it was the 5-digit number followed by a decimal point and 1 more digit. So it'd be 41254.7 or 0.7.
Yeah.
The first 2 digits of the star date are always 41. The 4 stands for the 24th century. The 1 indicates first season. The additional 3 leading digits progress unevenly through the course of the season from 000 to 999. So it's a day counter.
Okay, so it counts the day.
That means the duration of a Next Generation season is 1,000 days.
All right. Well, as we've learned, it's all crap, and nobody really knows what they're doing, so that's fine.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, I would think that they would. Here's what I do think would happen. If we ever take to the stars the way we have in Star Trek and other science fiction, if we ever truly do that, then they will come up with a different way. It will happen. I don't know if it'll be some convoluted long number called Stardate, but it'll be something like that. It'll be some sort of way of doing it, because you don't have all the typical time indicators anymore. You're out in the void of space. But when you're on a planet, you're like, what time is it? 4 p.m. Sweet. I'll see it for tennis, you know? Like, that's how it'll be.
Right, exactly. Hey, what are you doing on Stardate 45254.4?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm free that day.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be a time, too. Because then they set it up to be, the decimal point would be tenths of a day.
Oh,
so
if you said
so 0.4 would be noon on the 200. So that number I just gave you, 45254.4, would be the noon hour on the 254th day of the 5th season.
I could see that. Great. Well, we've come full circle. This is great what we've done.
Oh,
hey, if I got a question for you.
Who needs Daryl?
Yeah, we don't need Daryl. Daryl, take Monday off, buddy. We're good now.
Yeah.
We'll eat an Oreo without you. All right, so here's the question of the morning.
Yes.
If you are in some sort of communal space, let's call it a family home. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Let's
call it that.
Hypothetically, right?
Sure.
And in that family home, there's a big pot of something cooking in the kitchen that will feed up to and beyond 5 people. There'll be leftovers, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it's cooking in there, and it smells great, and you're like, oh, what's this? And you open the lid, and this is all hypothetical. You open the lid, and you're kind of stirring it around going, oh, man, I don't know what my wife made today, but whew, boy, this looks good. And you'd forgotten that you'd been chewing on a toothpick earlier, like full on, munching on it and being a dork with it, and that you had slipped it behind your ear and forgotten it was there.
Thinking you're like Clint Eastwood all of a sudden. Sure, okay.
Right. So now I got it behind my ear. Oh, I'm sorry. In this hypothetical situation of a person we don't know has it behind his ear.
Has it behind their ear. Okay, yeah, sure.
And he leans in, he's stirring the pot, and then suddenly said toothpick goes bloop, falls off the ear, takes a deep dive into the pot. You reach down and you get it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I got an important question here. The food that's cooking, is it a thick food like a chili where the toothpick sits on top, or is it a soup where the toothpick submerges for a little bit before popping back up to the surface?
It's a little brothy, and so as a result, the viscosity is low, so it does go deep. It takes a nice dive down, and then because there's veggies and sort of meat products and other things that are up sort of on top, it actually blocks the toothpick from making to surface again. So it's actually it's inside and now in there. And so for the person for the person to pull out this nasty chewed piece of wood, he or she has to dig around with a spoon or a ladle, find it, pick it out with like a pair of tongs or something and throw it away. And now let's say that person does just that. They've found it, they've extracted it.
Sure.
The foreign body is now out of the meal, and then thrown into the trash. Here's the hypothetical question: do you say anything to anyone if they are your immediate family, You're already breathing your air together. Everybody's all, one of them might come home and bring it, they got a big drink they got over at the place, and you're like, oh, let me try that flavor you got.
Sure.
So you're already using
let me get my own straw
right.
so I can try you sip your delicious beverage.
Right. So then it wasn't boiling, chat room. And hypothetically, I don't know if it was boiling. Let's say it that way. So I'll just admit it. This happened to me yesterday. I dropped a toothpick in the freaking soup. Okay.
Oh, no way. Okay, all this whole time I completely thought this was a purely hypothetical question and had no bearing on either one of our lives whatsoever.
Yeah, not in reality. Scott was just looking for an existential question and answer. But no, It really was me. I dropped it in, bloop, it went in. I pulled it out and threw it away, and then I didn't say anything to anyone. Now, probably going to get back to him that I did this now.
I can't believe you wouldn't say anything. Of course you say it, and you say it as a joke, or you say it like, so, how you liking that soup? By the way, the toothpick that I was chewing on that I stuck behind my ear fell into the soup.
Yeah. I feel like I have to tell him after and not during, though, right? So I can still do it. I can still, like tonight, I should do it when we're all back and we're all together. I'm going to go, oh, by the way, yesterday I dropped my
now it's too
toothpick.
late.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, now you kind of have to sit on it because waiting this long now makes it seem a lot more like you're almost covering something up, like something was worse, like you may have used that toothpick to scrape a crusty out of your nose or something.
Oh, jeez.
Like the fact that you've waited this long now, we've crossed into what Seinfeld probably would describe as Mulva territory, where if he would have admitted that he didn't remember the woman's name right away, it would have been totally fine. But the fact that the longer he kept it going that he did not know her name, the worse it became when he finally revealed the truth.
Can someone please suggest the title, Wandering into Mulva Territory? That's a good one. That's really good. So
Drenched Wildfire has you beat.
Yeah, he got it. Although you're missed a part, Drenched Wildfire. It needs to be Wandering into Mulva Territory.
Wandering into Mulva Territory.
You need the Wandering into part. You missed it. All right. Well, now there's one extra piece of this I forgot to mention because you did say, well, what if it was up your nose or something? It wasn't up my nose. However, I have a tendency to do a thing with toothpicks. And I know it's dangerous and stupid, but I've done it my entire life, and it drives everyone crazy when I do. But I'm going to admit to it on the air, and I'm going to show you with this pen.
You're gonna brave the barrage of emails and tweets of people warning you not to do whatever it is you're about to confess that you do.
Yeah, and I'm going to visibly do this on camera so that I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay.
All right.
So this
pen.
You
swallow the toothpick and then cough it back up.
I pass it like a normal poo.
Pick a number between 1 and 5.
So this right here, this pimp, will represent the toothpick. Yeah, obviously, the toothpick isn't this big or thick.
Of course.
But you'll get the idea. Now, what I usually do, or sometimes do, I shouldn't say usually. Sometimes what I'll do with a toothpick is after I've chewed it for a while and kind of had it hanging around, used it for its actual purpose of like dislodging a hunk of meat or whatever the reason you have a toothpick for, and before putting it on my ear, I will take it and I will gently insert it into my ear and sort of tickle the little inside there of my ear, like going. That's
I'm gonna save the chat room and everybody on Twitter and email the effort of saying, what the hell are you doing? You never stick anything in your ear bigger than or smaller than your elbow.
I know the rule, and I know that even like if you go buy a box of toothpicks or Q-tips even say on the side of the box, don't insert into your ear. Which again, what are they even doing? Who are they fooling? That's like saying, don't use the internet for porn.
Oh no! I've stopped because I did that as a kid. Like I did the whole using the toothpick or the Q-tip to go into the ear canal. Basically, all right, not your elbow, but really your pinky is the smallest thing you should insert into your ear canal. Oh my God! I hope nobody's eating breakfast while we do this.
So all right, so
even then, you like put a tissue over it, and you kind of do a little to kind of clean stuff out.
All right, so this is what I've done. I'll take the toothpick gently, in there, and I'll just kind of go, and to me, it's like a form of ASMR a little bit. It chills me out. It makes me really like, yeah, baby. Like, So I do that with the Q-tip, and I may have done that with this one. Put it back on my ear, and then it fell in the soup. So I'm just saying, the Q-tip had been in a number of my head holes.
Not Q-tip, toothpick.
Sorry, toothpick had been in a number of my head holes, and was now resting gently.
Sounds like a Nine Inch Nails song.
Head like my holes.
Oh yeah, you cannot say anything. I mean, really, this is.
See, I knew that was going to
be. People have quit. Kitchen is in our chat room says, "Not Brian. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Australia. It's been good."
Listen, that whole thing about the pinky, by the way, comes from a Bill Nye the Science Guy visit to the Jimmy Kimmel show, where Jimmy admitted that he puts toothpicks deep into his ear canal. And the problem with that is that you impact. Number one, you can impact the wax to cause a lot of problems. Number two, you can damage the sensitive membranes and tissue that's inside your ear. So don't do that. Anybody listening to me, I know it's tempting. Don't do it.
I know that it's bad.
Deep in the ear,
I know that it's bad. I know this.
Yeah.
And I don't go deep in the ear. Okay. So like deep, you'd have to define deep. For me, it's just like barely, just sort of like just the tip.
It's in the. Is it going further than your pinky could go?
Let's see.
Deep into Mulva territory.
About as far as my pinky could go. I'm not saying this is not me justifying it. I know it's a dumb practice. I've done it for a long time. My kids have seen me do this and go, "Dad, you're just going to slip or bump into a thing, or someone's going to hit your elbow, and then you're deaf for the rest of your life." Or even more fun, the toothpick will go like right into your cortex, frontal, whatever, some brain thing. And then I won't know words anymore.
So I worked with a guy.
Yeah.
Let's call him Dave Flagle, because that was his name.
Okay.
Who used to actually put would unbend basically, he would reset a computer, but with his ear. Like, you know how you take a paper clip and bend it out so it's got a little, stick out part? Mm-hmm. He would do that, and he'd use that to clean his ears at work. And he'd go deep. Like, it was not just into pinky level. He'd probably enter into Egyptian removing your brain before you're put into a sarcophagus territory.
Wow. So is this a bad time for me to admit that I've also done that with a...
Oh!
Not that deep, but I've used I would undo a paper clip.
Yeah.
And do a little, just a little pokey poke. And, I've told you about the time that I laid there as a kid and put... what's it called? A Phillips head screwdriver tip, the kind that they're the magnetic little modular ones where you put them into the screwdriver. I've told you about the time
interchangeable tips.
Yeah, have I told you about the time I was late? Now this is like junior high or something, and my nose has never been the same.
I.e., old enough to know better.
Yeah, old enough to know better. I would lay on my back, and I would take one of these little screw bits. I don't know what they're called, screwdriver bits, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I would. I would insert one into my nostril and see how far it could sink without me doing anything.
Sounds like the Christopher Guest Billy Crystal bit on Saturday Night Live in the 80s, where it was like, "You ever take one of those interchangeable tip screwdrivers?" Yeah. So I put it up my nose, just to see how far it could go.
Ask your uncle, everybody. He's old enough to know.
Or find those on YouTube. Those
really
were
funny.
Some of the best. Yeah, two guys trying to outdo each other but they, it was like everybody does that, right? Like, oh yeah, one of those interchangeable tip screwdrivers. Yeah, one of those.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those seasons right after the weird season, right? Or
this was
before the weird season?
This was right after the Ebersol vacuum season, where the show just sucked.
They were getting back to being good again, and it was a very funny bit. But yeah, I would do this, and I would let it sink and sink and sink, and I got so good at it that it actually would kind of be up in my sinus, and then I would sit up, and and just let it gravity its way out. It was weird. All right, I admit it was a weird thing for like some 8th grader to do.
So wait, would you put the magnetic tip way up in there and then use the screwdriver and let it go right back into its little?
No, because I didn't think that. I didn't even think about that, but I would have if I'd have thought about it. So anyway, I did that, and I still breathe funny out of this side of my nose. as a result. I really do. Like, it stuffs up more. It causes me more problems.
Scott, is what you did. You screwed up your sinuses.
I did, but I have these weird, like, kid habits that I still have, and one of them is the little ear thing. I wasn't planning on going that far down that road, but
no.
But the soup thing, I guess the bottom line is you're saying
at this point you can't. Yeah, at this point you can't tell.
Okay, we're done now. All right.
In your mouth and behind the ear, you could have told them yesterday while they were eating, or maybe right after the meal.
Yeah.
Or, and you jokingly say, "I've got something I've got to tell you," right? But now, if you were to do it, it sounds far worse than it probably was.
I should also mention I have a homeless friend whose boils I pop with that same toothpick, and
jeez,
I also use it to remove navel lint from my fat friend. So, no, just kidding. Those things aren't true.
At this point, yeah, we do. You're kidding. At this point, yeah, you can't really even. I
don't think I can make it worse. I actually think that I've sufficiently tainted. I mean, the thing is, really hot, warmed jambalaya type soupy soup, and it was fine, and I ate it. All right,
well, let me ask you this. Yeah, but it's your own excretions. It's
worse. You know what? The worst part of this was you saying it's your own excretions. Everything else was kind of weird and gross, but there's something about that's the worst thing that was said this morning.
That's where the line. That's what grossed Scott out the most.
Yeah, that grossed me out.
Taylor's husband name? I'm sorry.
Dylan.
Let's say Dylan confessed this. This is not the fruit of your loins. This is an ancillary connected line on the family tree.
The fruit of someone else's loins, right?
The fruit of somebody else's loins.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting down to a meal, and he says, "Oh, by the way, my gum fell out while I was leaning over the pot roast."
Oh, gum, dude! Why is gum worse? It is. Gum's worse because it could dissipate and break down and enter the void of soup, right?
Oh, and saliva and earwax encrusted wood can't.
I don't know. I might. Okay, two things would happen. I would first be repulsed. Yes. And then I would secondly go, this is Blood Brothers, or when people, one of the grossest things I ever think is when somebody makes an agreement. And
we're married, Dylan.
When somebody spits in their hand and shakes someone else's spit on hand. I hate that. It's so gross. Anyway, but that would be one of those moments we bonded in a new way,
Here's what I'm going to suggest, because Kim doesn't listen to TMS, right?
No.
All right. I say you make this a must-listen live event, and you tell her during Skim tomorrow or Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
This is Skim confession time.
All right, I'm gonna do it. It'll be some good audio. Everyone tune in Thursday afternoons.
I'm tuning in for that.
Thursday afternoon for Skim, that Scott and Kim show, 4:30 Mountain Time. I will do it. Wait, is that when we do it?
You guys,
5. Sorry,
and thank you, by the way, Scott, for giving me something that sounds 100 times worse. My God, putting a paperclip in your ear than what I'm going to be dealing with today.
Oh yeah, tell us all about it.
Today is the dreaded dentist appointment where they. Boy, it's just if you came to listen to TMS not hoping to cringe today, we're just giving you 80 reasons to cringe this morning. Yeah. They've got the cavity that developed under a filling, or probably wasn't removed sufficiently underneath a filling, and has grown enough to where they've got to drill out the filling, drill out the cavity, and refill the filling.
Oh,
that's me today.
How deep? Do you know? Well, maybe they have to decide this once they get in there. But do you know if it went deep into the? You got to get a root canal type thing.
I don't think it's into the root. They would have said something if it was into the root. I wish the Oculus Go was smaller, because I would just love to throw that on, earbuds in. Yeah. I will be anywhere else but in that dentist chair.
Have him load you up with gas, man. Just put on that gas mask and suck it in like there's no tomorrow. Just huff it.
I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know if they'll do gas for just a filling kind of thing. Like if it was a root canal, sure, I could request the gas, but I don't think.
I think you just have to ask for it. I think they'll do it. I think
really?
Yeah, it's not like controlled substance or anything.
Like I can say, hey, how about some gas?
Yeah, I did it for a filling once, and it doesn't work on me very well. So you would probably have better luck than me. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm kind of immune to that stuff.
I feel like they've also got to make preparations for that they can't do while I'm just sitting. Well, I guess they probably have a tube.
Oh yeah, they just bring it over.
Each of the rooms, and they just bring the tube over.
Yeah.
I want it to be like Open Table, where I can just go online to the dentist's website and say, table for 1, 2 p.m. Special occasion, yes, I'd like gas.
Yeah. Yeah, it does cost more. That's the one thing. I don't know how much more.
Yeah.
The insurance probably covers it too, but anyway,
I think insurance would cover it.
Yeah, it'd probably be fine. But I feel for you, dude. I hate the dentist. I hate that kind of work. It sucks, and I would rather eat 10 chewed toothpicks from strangers than go to the dentist today.
Yeah,
I really would.
And then I've got to come home and make a Mary Berry birthday cake.
Oh, it'll be a moist sponge somewhere involved?
It will be a delicious moist sponge. Do you want to see the recipe?
Yeah,
I'm excited about this recipe.
Yeah.
Check this out. You can put that
this
picture up on the
chocolate ganache thing you were talking about.
This last time I did a chocolate ganache. This one is going to be this one is not going to be covered on the sides, which I'm excited to try a cake where the frosting isn't on the sides. Because it means you've got to have a nice moist cake to be able to survive not being over frosted. But I'm thinking this one is going to be a little bit better points wise because it doesn't have as much sugar on the outside.
Oh my gosh, this is my idea of a good time. I'm not kidding. Like I could eat this right now for breakfast. Like. I love a good chocolate cake. Nothing like it in the world.
And here's what's really, really cool is that in between the layers, there's a layer of chocolate frosting, of course, but there's also a layer of apricot jam. So it's like chocolate and apricot inside.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, maybe you'll come home stoned and make it even better because you'll be on gas.
maybe I'll come home stoned and just swing by the King Soopers or the Kroger's and buy a handmade cake.
Yeah, that looks really good, dude.
Yeah, by the way, this is not a Weight Watchers recipe, people. So if you're like, it's a WW recipe. No, this is the Mary Berry's chocolate cake recipe.
Well, plus you don't want to force your thing on everybody else because there's other people.
I thought about it. I thought about doing one of those black bean chocolate cakes that like is super moist. Like I did the Christmas bars; those came out amazing, and they had black beans. As one of the ingredients, and they were great. You could not tell. You give that to somebody, and they could not tell there was black beans in them.
Really? Black beans?
Black beans.
Interesting.
Like really, really good. And it makes it super moist. And like I said, you do not even taste the black beans in there.
I can taste this chocolate cake right now.
I can too, yeah.
Oh, my Lord. I haven't had a good chocolate cake, and I can tell you how long. It's been ages. Like, just a straight-up, well-made, fluffy, good... Give me some milk with this kind of cake, you know?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's so good right now. That's when I think I like cake. You know, the whole pie versus cake argument. I think I'm kind of cake. Because if you're talking that kind of cake, what I'm looking at right there, I'm all into it. Mary Berry, you're a genius.
Black Forest cake beats, for me, Black Forest cake beats any kind of pie you put up against it.
I agree. Do you like Black Forest cherry? The cherry kind?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Dude!
Yeah, I'd like to visit the Black Forest sometime and just see if it's as delicious as the cake. Like walk through the forest. I'm assuming it's like cherry trees with whipped cream frosting. I'm visualizing. I've got a whole Hansel and Gretel kind of thing going on in my head that forest is like.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm all into it. All right, we're going to now dive into some news. We got the usual fun today, you guys. Come after the break, and you got Justin, you got Bill. I want to talk to Justin about this crazy governor thing, which will be fun because normally we got talk about a guy with a first name or last name starts with a T. We're not going to do that today. We're going to talk instead about that wacko governor who won't not retire. What's the word? Won't resign. He should resign. I think he should resign. So we're going to hear him explain the deal. Now there's some big sex controversy with his lieutenant governor, who's now you got the governor and the lieutenant governor fighting. I mean, jury will know all the bits and pieces, but I want to talk about it. We'll see what's up. All right.
Cool. All right.
Time for the news.
This is your radio newscaster with another exclusive sensational summary of world and local events.
It's the news brought to you by
Valium and nitrous oxide. It will make it seem like your dentist is barely all up in your mouth.
Nice.
Ask for it by name.
Yep. No brand, though. We don't have a brand.
Oh, yeah. Ask for it by type.
Last time I did the gas, and it's been a long time, it just doesn't work on me, so I kept telling her to turn it up, and she told me that she had it on levels that usually makes big men sleep for a day. And it didn't do anything for me. I don't know why. It just didn't do anything for me.
Elephant tranquilizer.
It just didn't give me the thing that it's supposed to give me. So, whatever. I'm not here to complain. It's fine. The American Dental Association, get your shit together.
Yeah, really. Start up in the dosage.
Here's the first story about McDonald's, because we like to do food stories. This is how we do it here. McDonald's customer called police after employee put onions on his Big Mac and then got arrested. The employee didn't get arrested. The guy did.
The customer, yes, sure.
Because you shouldn't use 911 for somebody screwed up your order. Just don't.
Right. Well, did they call 911 or did they just call the police department?
Well, it says here they got arrested because they called
emergency.
the police. Yeah, it looks like it was 911. Well, it was something in England. Whatever England's version of that is.
999 is the
Is that
UK?
it?
Is that right?
999? That's so much cooler than ours. I would love 999.
Yeah, but way easier for a little kid to accidentally to dial it when they're playing with a phone.
Didn't think of that.
Quit playing with the phone!
Yeah. You've called emergency services again!
Yeah, at least 911 you kind of like have to know what you're doing to do that, but a kid can like go 999999999.
Philip! So anyway, this lady is a lady. She she was arrested after calling police to complain about. Oh no, it doesn't say that. McDonald's customer was arrested after police calling about his Big Mac having onions and challenging the restaurant's manager to a fist fight. Leslie McDonough, age 53. So just a guy named Leslie. That threw me off.
Okay, sure.
Leslie, get off the bridge. Was visiting fast food chain in Manchester, England around 10:30 p.m. on a Friday when he claims he received the wrong meal and he could not eat it because of the severe allergy to onions. How do you have a
I've received the wrong meal and the wrong trousers.
That's got a real two for going there.
Yes.
Incident began to escalate when police arrived, asked McDonough to leave the restaurant. McDonough reportedly fell to the floor, grabbed a police officer's leg as they attempted to stand him up. McDonough also spit in the officer's face while they were taking him off the premises.
Jeez.
Spitting in people's faces, just a rough piece of business, isn't it?
Yeah,
it
is. It's like
it's
so. I just watched Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, and when Indiana Jones puts Willie Scott when he's under the power of Kalima, and he puts Willie Scott in the cage to drop her down into lava zone, lava tubes. The first thing she does is spit in his face, like she does the Indy.
Yeah.
You know, and then when she realizes that he's not doing anything and putting her wrists in the cuffs, then she spits in his face. He hangs there for way too long, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Before he wipes it off his face. I mean, I know he's under the power of Kali Ma, and I don't know if Kali Ma just makes you care less about getting spit in the face, but...
Space Fit, it's enough for me to go dip my face in the lava, man. Like,
right, exactly.
Like, ugh.
Mole Ram, do you have a towel?
Ugh, gosh, dang it. It's so gross.
Short round, bring me a towel.
I can't even deal with accidental spit, let alone
no
somebody
time for
doing
towel,
it on purpose.
Dr. Jones. No time to wash your face.
I like when he punches him, though. Does he punch him or hits him with a piece of wood? Oh, no, he hits him with a torch.
Short round?
Yeah, with a torch.
Fire. Fire is what breaks the Kalima spell.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
I can live with that.
I like that movie.
Because then Short Round really torches the little kid who is the Maharaja of Pankot Palace.
Yeah.
Pankot. You will go to Pankot Palace.
I mean, look, we're not making fun of the Indian thing, okay, everybody?
No, we're making fun of that guy who's talking.
Yes.
We're just repeating what that guy said.
Yes, who was also a bad guy. He was bad.
No.
Who? Which guy?
That's the guy who...
bring back to us. Bring back to us.
Yes.
Yeah. Never mind, I'm thinking of the wrong famous Indian actor.
Right.
You will, Dr. Jones! That guy.
That's Muller. That guy is
that
guy.
You will! Like he was always just so up and ready to roll, man. That guy.
Yeah.
He'd say.
You know, and you get we're really going off on another Indiana Jones tangent.
Yeah.
So I completely forgot that in the beginning part when he's in Lao Che's nightclub and watching Willie Scott dance and
oh right, the China bit.
The antidote for the poison you just drank.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, it's such a great. It really is a great Indiana Jones film.
It's fun.
But Club Obi-Wan. So he has his buddy disguised as a waiter who comes over to put the gun on him when Lao Che tries to renege on the renegotiate. Is that what that's just? Renege on the deal.
Yeah. Pray he doesn't alter it further. That whole thing.
That's right. You are in a position unsuitable. Anyway, that guy says, "Oh, we've been on many, many adventures together, Indiana. This is my last one with you." And it's like, oh, I want a prequel that shows these guys having adventures together, like his little sidekick.
Yeah, I feel like anytime they drop that, they should follow through with a better, proper sequel or another prequel.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever had that in Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, where they had that guy.
Oh, maybe.
Or where they had the origin story of that character. That'd be really cool.
I never saw any of that, and by all accounts, it was like a fun show. People were into it, but I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it either.
I think
I saw the first few episodes. Like, oh, this isn't enough like the movies for me to enjoy it. I don't know if there wasn't enough supernatural stuff that he was.
He was just always afraid of snakes.
Wow. Third Illusion knows the quotes. Into the great unknown mystery. I go first, Indy. Like he's basically saying, no, this is the first adventure where I go first.
Yeah, I go first, Indy. I go first.
Oh, Dan Wally. I want to say that there were like 3 or 4 seasons. I think there were like.
Oh yeah,
it went on for a while because you had two different. Yeah. You had 2 different actors who played. Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones.
It wasn't just one season; it was more than that.
Right. And then you had the old man who was like the bookend of the series.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my stories. I'm no longer married to Marion, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they don't really. They retconned a few things, I think.
Yeah.
I would be all about Disney now that Disney owns all that and they own the rights to do Indiana Jones stuff. If I were them, I would do one of the shows they should work on is an Indiana Jones show, a new one.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. Make a series and make it when he's. It doesn't have to be when he's a kid. Just make it when he's like in his 20s and 30s, and get somebody who looks like is a good mix for what Harrison Ford might look like or do or whatever, and just do it.
Right.
Oh, 2 seasons, they say.
Put Harrison Ford and River Phoenix in the old Morph program and stop it halfway and pick an actor that looks like that.
Exactly. Those Harrison Ford commercials with the dog and the
I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah, they were all right.
They were all right.
They're not the worst things I've ever seen. Although they played them way too many times. Like enough.
Oh, really? We only saw it once. Thank goodness.
Oh, so you guys got out early. That's right. We hung around.
Yeah, we didn't watch anything. Once the game ended, we're like, let's move on to something else.
We hung around and watched the most of that first episode of their America's Got Talent ripoff show.
Oh, right. What are the
A World's Best or something?
The one with RuPaul and Drew Barrymore.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of sucks. Like I said on Twitter, It reminds me. I mean, I kind of like some of the acts, but all the in between and the editing just felt like one of those RoboCop TV shows that were on RoboCop all the time. Like I buy that for $1, like just nonsensical, weird future TV. It just really bugged me. But anyway, what was my point with that? My point was that I had a point.
You stuck around and watched all that, and you saw the same commercials.
And they kept showing those commercials. Yeah. So,
Nope.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Not as dumb as this. Audi, the car maker Audi.
Sure.
Not the state of your belly button, but Audi, the car brand.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
No, I have an Indy.
Oh. Indy. Bad dates.
There's our connection right there.
There you go. Nice job. Audi's electric. Boy, I'm so shiny today, chat room. I don't know why. I took a shower this morning. You know what it is? Kim gave me some kind of face wash, and it's it's turned me into like a made out of porcelain
a glazed ham.
Yeah. It's not like sweaty or anything. It's like just a shine to everything. It's really weird.
Yeah. Like you've been polished.
Oh, and guess what Carter did last night? I could show this on camera. Should I? So when Carter was little, she loved to paint our nails. The kids. When she was like 5 years old, she would like, "Can I paint your nails, Daddy?" Of course you can. I'm your dad. Of course you can paint my nails. So she would paint my toenails, And I never worried about it because I just, wear shoes and nobody ever sees them, right?
Sure.
Well, last night, she's 21 now, and she goes, she's doing her mom's, and she goes, Dad, you should let me do yours again. Like when when we were little or whatever. And I went, or maybe I was just thinking about when she was little. But anyway, she offered to do it, and I said, okay, sure, why not? And so she totally did my nails last night. So chat room here, I'll try to get my foot up here so you can see. I don't know if you can't see it really. But see? See the black?
Oh, look at that. What color are they?
They're black. Or it's some kind of dark blue, purpley black thing that my wife has on her fingernails as well. So she's all matched up. So right now I have pedicured, and she also did the pedicure thing where she does your cuticles or whatever those are called and all that. Cubicles. What is it? Cuticles, right?
Cuticles.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so now I'm walking around like some kind of fancy boy today. So there you go.
Nice.
Painted toenails.
Chat room. I give this episode 5 stars. Says Quentin T.
Yeah, I would. We got a lot of personal information being shared today on this show.
Totally. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this shoe back on. I hide nothing. This is just my life, man. You guys want it? You get it. Here it is. Okay, there we go. Oh, maybe that's all that authenticity talk we had yesterday on your thing.
Oh yeah, on the thing.
Yeah,
sure.
which I don't want. We don't want to spoil it, but we had a great discussion about that, and I think that should resonate with people, and it resonated with me. So today it's all authenticity. You guys want to see me? I don't know. I had to double flush this morning. How you like that? There's another piece of information. Twice.
Once to get the second time to get the toothpick down.
That's right. Toothpicks. I have a real problem. All right, Audi. Here's the deal with Audi. They are making an electric vehicle, like everybody's getting into the electric cars, right?
Sure.
They named it, and it turns out it's the French word for turd. I feel like the Germans who Audi's
the new
a German
Audi
car,
Merd.
I feel like Germany's close enough to France and hasn't had enough history with France that they probably should have checked into this.
Somebody should have said something.
This isn't like some small automaker in North Carolina. This is Audi in Germany. It's a decision made in Europe. Sorry, you were going to say something? What'd you say?
I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, I thought you said by the way, and then I cut you off. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh.
I thought you did.
No.
Maybe
I thought it was just saying the Audi Merd, but I don't think did I see something after that?
I don't know, maybe. If it comes to you, let us know.
I blacked out there for a second, Scott. What?
German automaker Audi should have thought about checking, blah, blah, blah. Here's the new name. It is called e-tron, which sounds like
they had ads for this all over the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes. They did show it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. E-tron, or e-tron, however you say it, is French for excrement or turd.
Etron.
I should have confirmed this with Patrick this morning. He and I did a monthly video game briefing thing, and I should have asked. Anyway, Audi is literally calling their new vehicle a POS. But let this not distract you from the excitement the company has for their shiny Super Bowl commercials, which by the way, I don't trust any. I didn't say this yesterday when I was complaining about the Super Bowl stuff. I don't trust any car commercials that are that dramatic, and I mean all of them. Like we did talk about it, didn't we? Because the Kia one was over the top and stuff.
The Telluride, right.
Really
it's
annoyed me.
Changing the world, one cubic foot of breathable air at a time.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I hate it. And then when it went in the water and it had the disclaimer at the bottom saying, "Do not do this ever. This is this wouldn't actually work.
Closed course, professional driver. Do not replicate."
I wish it said everyone in this scene was killed. Our best to their families. So dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb. All right. Well, there's that story. So go buy yourself an Audi turd.
Go buy the new Audi poop.
Yeah, the Audi turd coming soon.
Poop jokes and Audi.
Hawaii is proposing banning cigarettes for anyone under the age of 100.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Big Island lawmaker has got an idea here. Proposed incrementally increasing the minimum age to buy cigarettes, leading to the practical ban across Hawaii. Democratic State Representative Richard Cregan. That's a great name. Richard Cregan. Bad guy name.
Cregan.
What are you going to do, Cregan? So he proposed legislation aimed at making the state the first in the country to ban the sale of cigarettes for anyone except anyone over 100 years of age. under his bill.
Give me your gun and your badge, McLean. You can't keep going after Cregan. He's got diplomatic immunity.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity. Oh, I love that guy. Can I play his clip? I want to play it.
Please, if you've got it handy.
Yeah, I do. Immunity.
You and I have different definitions of the word handy.
Here he is.
Diplomatic immunity.
That guy's great. He's a classic. Never forget.
He is classic, yes.
Anyway, where are we at here? Oh, okay, so this is where it begins. It increases the age to 30 by 2020, so just in a year you can, that's how you have to be 30. If this passes, it's not passed. It goes to 40 in 2021, 50 in 2022, 60 in 2023, and so on, all the way up to 100 in 2024.
There's a big jump. So 60 in 2023, and then the very next year, 100.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know why. It's just like it's like skipping a level in Mario or something. They're just jumping straight to it.
Does it count if by smoking that many cigarettes you look 100?
Well, I mean, I know people like that, so maybe they're already on the deal. I don't know. It's a good point. The measure would not apply to e-cigarettes, cigars, or chewing tobacco. E-cigarettes would include vape pipes and all that crap.
Sure.
Cregan said taxes and other regulations. Oh, by the way, Dylan's dad, who's a total salt of the earth, like Raiders hat, scraggly beard, works for the city, just salt of the earth kind of dude. Chews tobacco, I think, like one of those guys.
Man's man, basically.
Man's man, you know, all the stereotypes.
Yes.
He's at the hospital after the baby's born. And I said something like, what was it? Oh, he's saying, we were talking about how great babies smell. Just that smell of a baby is so great. It's just this wonderful smell. And he says, yeah, I wish you could like bottle it up and sell it. And I said, hey, we could vape it. Everybody could vape baby smell, I says to him. He says, yeah, put them in the douche, or what do you call it? Oh, yeah, put them in the douche flutes. And I said, what? I said, what? He goes, yeah, that's what they are. The vape pens or whatever. I call them douche flutes.
Douche flutes. Oh, my God. Yeah. Wow. On a day where we're going to have a lot of show titles fighting for supremacy, douche flutes is like a dark horse in the running.
I agree. He's in the back. He's in the back, but he's coming up. Anyway, so in Hawaii, you may not be able to do that until you're 100. All right. Final story. This is fascinating to me. This is the headline, so be prepared, everybody. Okay. There is an empty trash bag circling our planet right now. Probably a lot more than that.
Please tell me that Joaquin Phoenix is out there with a video. Oh, it wasn't Joaquin. Was Joaquin Phoenix out there with a video camera?
Wait, who was that?
American Beauty?
No, it was... Was it?
No.
Not Joaquin Phoenix, was it?
Not Joaquin Phoenix. Who was the actor? It was... I'm looking it up.
I want to see that.
Wes Bentley. It was Wes Bentley. Please tell me, Wes. I blew the joke. I should have looked it up. Wes Bentley is out there filming the whole thing with a video camera, saying it's the most beautiful thing that he's ever seen in his life.
For some reason, that just reminded me of the movie I just watched on Netflix, which I'll talk about Wednesday. I'm not sure I recommend it yet, though.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Let's just say...
Documentary?
No. Movie.
Movie.
Let's just say... No, I'm not going to say. I'll save it. I'll save it. I really do want to talk about it because I'm so torn and ripped on it. I don't know what to think.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway, there's a lot of space junk out there in orbit. Few objects are not quite as peculiar as the one called A10BMLZ. That's the official name and the star date, ironically enough. Which astronomers are describing as a big empty trash bag. Farther than the average distance between the Earth and the Moon, this object doesn't have a stable orbit. It's moving erratically, unpredictably, veering back and forth between a distance of about 372,000 miles and 334,000 miles from the surface of the Earth, a lot like, you guessed it, an empty trash bag caught in the wind. It's far from run-of-the-mill space junk, says astronomer Daniel Bamberger. Isn't that what Trump thinks hamburgers are called? Bambergers?
We got lots of good Bambergers. We're going to be serving Bambergers and Spot Dogs to the Clemson team to celebrate their wins. Wash it down with a milkshake.
And a fillet o' pish. Says here, let's see, blah, 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 discovers, blah, blah, blah. They didn't know if it was natural or unnatural. As they tracked its movements, they realized it was defying predictions and moving around almost randomly, but space is a vacuum. There's no wind or air pressure, so they didn't know what that was about. There are a handful of forces that could possibly simply bully an object in and out of orbit. What it is and what kind of forces could possibly shove it around is still sort of unknown. But basically they think, physics-wise, they don't think it's an actual trash bag, okay? It's not somebody's glad bag floating around up there. But
I was really hoping it was like a hefty steel sack that's like zipping around.
That would be amazing.
Coming this close to knocking Sandra Bullock off of the platform.
And we have astronomer listeners, people who know this stuff. You guys can pipe in and clarify any of this. But my understanding is, from what this says and what they know, it's just behaving like the physics of something like that. So it's clearly some big, gnarly, who knows what. And I'm sure there's speculation as to, you know, I'm sure somebody's got a conspiracy theory about this already. I don't know who, but someone's got it. Yeah, space. Sometimes it's good to talk about space here on the show.
I just love the fact that it also warrants a 7-character name that's like my YouPorn password, A10BMLZ. Like
your YouPorn password. That's a good one, though. That's a good password.
It is a good password. That's probably where it came from.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know why they named it that.
Now I've got to go change my password.
A10BMLZ. If I did I almost said a gooch. If I did a Google search, I guess Google
gooch
search
is the appropriate contraction of Google search. GOO''.
I'm gonna go gooch it. Oh, they have video. They have video of this. Hold on. No.
Oh.
What? Okay, hold on. Let's chat room. We're gonna take a look here. We got some kind of NASA
What? Did you
footage.
find something?
Yeah, but I don't know. Right now, it just looks like fake nothing. Oh, they didn't show anything. Very interesting discovery made by this small object, probably just a few meters across. Where is it? Oh, let me turn on the audio.
You should see it moving, right?
I guess, but there's no audio, and the video's like 10 seconds long,
right?
And nothing moves.
Yeah, it's
okay. Great. Well, they've really outdone themselves with their.
It doesn't help that it's like the negative, like you're looking at the negative, and so everything's moving.
Yeah,
it's not black with white; it's like white with black stars.
It's like a big.
It's like you're watching the end of 2001.
It's like a close-up of someone's nose or something in reverse. I don't like it.
Yeah, what they need a red arrow. This is the thing.
Yep.
That you're looking for.
Indeed. We're going to take a break. When we wait, chat room says in space no one can hear a trash bag blowing around. You're right. We're going to break, and when we come back, Bill and jury and all that. So stick around. We got a great email at the end of the thing as well. Speaking of languages and words. So we'll get to all that in a minute. Before that, though, a break with Song with Brian.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy NASA. Mash that click and like and subscribe button to see more pictures of trash bags floating in space.
Flash.
Anyway, flash bags and crash bags. Have you know I said both. Let's go to Brisbane, Australia with an indie electro-pop kind of industrial band called Headfog, and they're spelled Hedfog because that's how you spell it in Brisbane. Just kidding. Their brand new album is called Race to the Bottom. They compare themselves to LCD Sound System. I hear that. I also hear 9 Inch Nails, so I think you're going to dig this. The brand new song is called Mine. It's from the album A Race to the Bottom. You can find more from them at headfog.bandcamp.com. Here is Headfog.
All right, here we go. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Nothing's going to happen to anyone as smart as Min-May, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Now is the time for us to control the mining and commerce network.
The morning stream. That's my safety word.
By the way, one of these days we should play that weird one, that YouTube video, that song you sent me. We should just play it to play it.
Yeah, except
it's horrifically bad.
I turned it down because it's like I can't.
It's
I don't
so
want to
bad,
give her
Brian.
the false hopes that it's so bad.
It's
really
horrendously bad. It's the kind of thing that should have gone viral by now. How bad it is.
It takes a while to figure out that it's even English.
That's true. And you were right. It takes like a minute to get in there before you're like, oh, okay, this is terrible.
Yeah, I'll give it to the chat room.
Yeah, you should. You should let them enjoy. It's a public YouTube link, so it's not that big a deal.
Yes.
And people can get
giving
whatever kick they want out of it because it's pretty great.
Exactly.
All right. Punished.
I love that I promise it's English. And then the freeze frame that comes up when you post it into the chat says, "When I love went down."
When I love went down?
When I love went down.
That's bad English. I'm just going to say
It's bad English.
Yep.
Bad English.
Just going to put that out there. All right, It's time for this. Let's play this right here. I'm going to play, let's see, we'll do this one. Oh, I haven't played that in a long time. Hey, look who it is, everybody. It's Bill Duran, maker extraordinaire from punishprops.com, joining us once again. Bill, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
It's snowy where you are. It's snowy here.
Oh, that's right. You guys got snow in Seattle. That's no fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Did it shut everybody down, or what's the deal there?
Not me. I made it to work. Damn it.
Nice job.
My boss wouldn't give me the day off. What a jerk.
He's such a dick, your boss. So what's funny is we got nothing but rain over the last 2 days, and normally this time of year it's just snow all the time, and so we're like Seattle in a normal time of year.
Yeah.
It's funky as crap. It's I can't really explain it, but wind and rain and no snow last night, like all night. I made a joke this morning I should go out and make a waterman, and then Brian followed up with, what was it? Puddle angels?
Yeah, go make some puddle angels when you're done.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, Bill's here to talk about the world of makership. That's what I'm going to call it today. And
also,
Bill,
congrats, Scott, on becoming a grandfather.
Thanks, man. It feels real good. You got a little boy there, and he's a sweet little dude, and he's freaking my daughter out. So she's like totally by the book about all this, like studied up, got all the stuff she was supposed to have. You know how new parents are. She went bananas with all the prep and the schedule and the whatnot. And he likes to sleep and is sleeping all night and sometimes for 7-8 hours at a stretch. And she's now all stressed about that. That's not normal. He should wake up and cry every 3 hours. I'm like, embrace the thing.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
That's what you want.
Yeah. I just drives me up a wall to hear her complain. Well, she's not complaining, but she's just like, I'm worried about it. I'm like, you don't need to worry about it. This is what you're aiming for. You're just getting there quicker. So embrace it. You're the one that kept us up all night. So great. It skipped a generation. This is good. Anyway.
But you're never, ever going to be able to tell new parents not to worry about a thing that shouldn't be worried about.
No, it's impossible.
Every new parent is going to worry about everything.
Yeah, and you can't tell, I'll tell you this that I've learned, you can't tell a brand new grandparent not to worry about them not worrying about things. Do you understand? Like, it's compounded. Because somebody with like 8 or 9 grandkids under their belt could come to me and go, oh, don't worry about it. They'll figure it out. You're fine. And I go, no, we want to help. And, like, we're in the same mode, but on this other level. It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
Right.
Anyway, what's not weird is you, Bill, and your great ideas. So what do you got this week? What are we doing?
I had a pretty great idea. I built a human-sized Lego sword and shield. Of course, punishprops.com has the scoop. If you want to check it out. But yeah, I took a little Lego sword. It's about 1 inch long, but yay big. And I made it human-sized. So the handle's big enough to hold my hand, or for me to hold it in my hand. And I made a shield to match. And it makes me smile and giggle every time I hold it because it's ridiculous.
Oh, look at this.
When you hold it, do you have to put your hand in a perfect like C?
Yeah, and then you clip it in, like clip,
click. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Oh, and you even used little Lego minifigs for you and your wife.
I did. Brittany and I went and we put a lot of effort into this video. We went to the Lego store. You can custom make minifigs, so we made little minifig versions of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, if you cut off that handle, that's a penis. I just want to put that out there. That's what
great. Okay. Good.
All right. So explain to me.
Like 3 penises.
Are we using all the same materials as usual? Are you doing anything special here to make it? Because it does look very toy-like, and if I didn't know the scale, I would be like, oh, that's just a little minifig sword.
Right. So we use all hard surfaces, wood and plastic. The handles are all PVC pipe fittings. So I went and bought the PVC pipe fittings first and kind of scaled everything around that so that the proportions made sense. The only real tricky thing was I used my lathe to turn the knobs on the end of the handle. God, it's a handle.
Yes, a handle.
And I used the sphere on the end of that. I used the lathe, so I poured some liquid resin into a cup to make a solid chunk of plastic, and then that got chucked up in the lathe. I haven't used my lathe in years, I think, so it was really fun to bust that thing out again. It's a little woodworking lathe, so
Yeah.
Suck it, Mark Spagnolo. I can do that too.
What'd you use for the ball parts of the sides?
That's what was turned on the lathe. So it started as a solid piece of plastic, and then you spin it and just jam a big old chisel in there, and it turns it into a circular.
I would have never thought that would even. I mean, okay, did you have to think of that for the first time, or have you done another project where you're like, oh, this would be perfect for this? You know what I mean?
The lathe is pretty much a handle making machine for swords. So in the past, I did Marin's Razor from Skyrim. I did Keening from Skyrim. Probably did something else from Skyrim. And the handle is a cylinder, so you put it on the lathe, turn it into a cylinder, and then you can cut perfect lines into it. Lathes are so much fun. They're really cool.
Yeah, and then watching you bandsaw like a monster here. I would have thought this PVC stuff would be hard on your tools. No.
I'm hard on my tools. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can always buy more bandsaw blades, so I try not to hurt myself, and that's really the only goal.
so it's no big deal. It's not like the saw. It's really just the blade you'd have to worry about ever.
Yep, and they get replaced pretty frequently because we use the crap out of them.
No, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, kid! If you had a kid, you should give this to your one of your nephew.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
One of those kids deserves this.
Beat the tar out of each other with that thing.
Oh my god!
Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sword. So the blade is wood. It's poplar wood. If you deck someone in the face with that thing, they're going down.
Yeah, it would hurt.
And that's what would happen.
Yeah,
I'd hand the sword to my nephew who's 3, and he'd turn to his brother who's 1.5, and the first thing he would do is hit him in the face. You know it.
Oh, of course they would.
That's the first thing I would do. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So was there any temptation? I mean, not that you'd plan this for one of them anyway, but was there ever any temptation to go, I'm going to use freaking foam for this? Is foam even an option? Is it?
Yeah. Actually, if the blade was made out of foam, then it would hurt a lot less when my nephew hits his brother in the face. But I thought about it, but I really wanted to have that perfect plastic-like finish on it. So I had to be able to sand it really nice and smooth, and a rigid material like wood is good for that. I ended up using something I've never tried before. It's a spray paint that's catalyzed, so it's got an additive that kicks off a chemical reaction, that will cure it. It's the same kind of paint, like the clear that you put on a car, right? That really durable finish. You can buy that in a spray paint can. It's not cheap, but it was really great. You boop a little button on the bottom, then you mix the catalyst in there, and then you spray it on your thing. And then the next day, it's got a perfect satin clear finish on it that gives it that nice plasticky shine that I like. It's also very durable.
That's cool.
Which is great for when my nephew hits his brother in the face. It won't damage the sword.
Yeah. Watching you lathe this, by the way.
Yeah.
And always important to mention, if you notice, Bill's wearing protective gear and not horking this stuff up his nose or anything weird like that. You gotta,
especially dealing with PVC plastic. Jeez.
Yeah. You got to be careful, right?
Do you have one of those really cool cantilever PVC pipe cutters? I picked one of those up at Home Depot. I love that thing. So much better than using a saw to cut through.
Wait, is that like you wing it around until it cuts through? Is that the?
Yeah, it's like a, it looks like garden shears, basically those curved hook, Velociraptor garden shears.
Oh yeah.
But it's a ratchet, so you close it and it closes down a little bit. Then you open the thing again and close it down again. Like you keep vice gripping it down in until it keeps closing and finally cuts the PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm watching you put the balls on. You dropped one of them and caught it. Nice job. Well done.
I caught it.
Picking up the ball you dropped.
Yeah.
I caught it with Did you see?
Yeah.
With my balls.
Yeah, let it be known that Bill's balls dropped and he caught it. Nice job. Well, all right. This is great. What a cool project. And I'm already, as usual, kind of jealous that this doesn't exist or that I have the skills to make it. So nice work. Oh, and they get into the whole wood bit here and about the third through people. So look at that. You're going to cut that.
It's a long video. Yeah, tuck in if you're going to watch it.
How long of a build would you say? Is this a day build? Is this a weekend?
No, this took us 4 or 5 days.
Well, isn't that interesting? Complexity isn't always equal time, does it? Like, depending on what you're doing. That gun you did last week took you way less time.
Oh, yeah.
And then something like this, which seems like it should be simple, to pull that off, you actually have to go a little harder, I guess. That's a way to look at it.
Yeah, also I built 2 things. The scale, they're quite big, so that made a difference. It needed to be clean. So the gun I did last week, I weathered it, I dirtied it up. I could hide any mistakes. The Lego things are perfectly clean. You can't hide your mistakes with weathering paint. So you gotta sand it a lot. You gotta do a lot of filling. MDF requires some special treatment. So there's a lot of, it's one of those projects that's like surprisingly challenging and time consuming.
Are you now going to cosplay as a little Lego man at some point? Carry this
kind of
around?
Want to.
Yeah. It'd be hard not to. Oh, look at that. Look at him finished. That's so cool. Oh, Bill. Well, I hope you're having a nice warm day. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Trying to decide if we want to venture out today.
Don't leave the house. It's not safe.
You never know, because everyone else, when snow happens in places that you don't get a lot of snow, people turn stupid.
They don't know how to drive or anything. Yeah.
Nope. Even here, they'll forget.
Except for me, I'm the only one that knows.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, sure.
I'm very good.
Yeah, you came from you're in upstate New York. You know all about snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just other Seattle freaking coffee head freaking hipsters. I have no idea. All right. Well, Bill, this is great. Any a little gifty finally thing you got there for us this week, like you often do?
Recommendation. I have not shared Caleb's channel here. I just dropped a link in the chat. His channel is called Video DSLR Shooter, and if you shoot any video, it's worth checking out and subscribing to his channel. I love it. I learn a lot about equipment and techniques for my videos. And he did a series on shooting B-roll. So like product photography. How to set up a backdrop and how to set up your lights. So he's got a whole series on them. I linked to the first one in the series. Caleb's really great. He's a videographer, so his videos on YouTube are gorgeous. They look so good. He's got a great speaking voice, really good at explaining stuff. Highly recommend it.
I like it already. Cool. Look at him. Look at his expert use of bokeh.
Oh yeah, look at that.
I also like that Mac SE30's got sitting on his shelf.
Yeah. I learned how to use Microsoft Works on that computer.
Right? Yeah. McDraw.
Yeah. He's doing like this is not quite a white box, but like a good product photo space. This is great. I need to do more of this. Better lighting. Better lighting is my new thing for this year. I want to do better, cooler stuff like that.
Yeah, we have lighting goals as well.
Oh yeah, everyone should have good lighting goals, I think.
Hashtag lighting goals.
Lighting goals. Subscribe and like.
Hey, subscribe. It's your boy.
It's your boy. You need to start starting your videos like that. Hey, it's your boy Bill Duran and making the Lego things. Subscribe. You need to do that more.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Bill Duran, everybody. He is Chinbeard on Twitter. You can also find punishprops.com wherever you get your internet. So go find it. Check out these videos. You'll love it. Bill, have a fantastic day. We'll see you later.
See you guys.
Bye now.
See ya.
Okay. Good stuff there, Bill.
Yeah.
Good job, Bill. All right.
Bill.
Justin Robert Youngman. He wants to... You know, I'll bet we have trouble with this connection.
J to the R to the Y.
Yeah, I'll bet this.
You bet we're gonna have trouble with what? Oh, with his audio.
Maybe we'll find out. I don't know. Justin, are you there?
Hi.
Oh,
look at that.
He's only quiet. I'm gonna turn him up.
Yeah. The only problem is that he's...
I can turn myself up.
Okay, turn yourself up. Yeah, because I have you.
Check.
I have you at max. A little bit more. A little bit more.
Hey.
A little more. Tiny bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more.
Check.
Better.
Check.
Perfect.
Check.
Nailed it.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
I'm not. Justin Robert Young is here, all the way from sunny, beautiful, never rainy or snowy Oakland, California. About to lose their Raiders. That's fine. You can drive to Vegas. Everything's good. Justin.
No, they're actually going across the bay. They're going to play at the San Francisco Giants Stadium for the next season.
Well, that's good because there hasn't been a team in the 49er Stadium for a long time. Because they suck. Get it? They suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the baseball stadium, not the football stadium.
Oh, all right. Well, that you can convert those and make it work. You know what I always think is weird? Since you're a Bay Area guy now, this has always struck me as a little bit weird. Favorite homeboy, Utah boy, Steve Young, famously played for the 49ers, got some rings there, did a great job, big time quarterback guy, blah, blah, blah. Took over for one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and so it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
When you see like Super Bowl commercials that bring all these old guys back together and they're all doing their thing, I never see Steve Young in any of this stuff. Is he just like, I mean, none of us are going to probably know this, but I just wonder why not? He was a big deal.
But boy, Terry Bradshaw seems like he'd come to a letter opening.
Yeah, he does.
Well, because Bradshaw's still been a fixture of football because he's on the Fox show. Although Steve Young has been a part of the ESPN stuff for a pretty long time.
Oh, so, has he? See, I don't watch cable, so I never even knew that. It just seemed like he disappeared, and I couldn't figure out why. And I thought, oh, it can't be the concussions, can it? Because remember, you had 1 million of them, and it was always like, oh, Steve Young took another concussion today, and I just thought, well, maybe he's like convalescing in a hole somewhere and nobody knows.
No. He's on TV, so it's not like the NFL has stashed him under a bed somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he's not doing more commercials. Maybe he doesn't want to do commercials.
He may not. Yeah. I mean, he's got a place. He still lives in San Francisco. Has a house out here. Once in a while, people will like catch him at a mall or something, and freak out. But I miss having a prominent. I don't know why we in our state take this so seriously, but we love when a prominent Utahn is doing something on a national stage. It usually ends up being something in sports like that, or McMahon was a former BYU guy as well, 85 Bears, that guy, that McMahon.
Yeah.
What's the other kid's name who would play for the Eagles? Anyway, all these guys go on. Oh, Danny Ainge was one. Like back in the day, the Jazz had a moment in the 90s. Like, we love that. We relish in it. And right now, there's just not a lot of that going on, other than Mittens, but F him right now. Who cares? He's not doing anything I care about.
Okay, no, I got it. You love white guys.
That's I love
fine.
White guys. I love white, pale, white bread men.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm into it. So, but forget all of that. Today, Justin and I had a conversation yesterday about what we were going to talk about. And I realized it's been a bustling couple of weeks in political news, but I don't want to talk about Trump. I don't want to talk about pending emergency declarations or any of this stuff. I want to know what the hell's going on with that weird deal with the Virginia governor and the blackface, and will he step down? Won't he step down? He apologizes and says, yes, that is me. Then later says, nope, I don't think that is me. Now there's some weird thing with a sex thing with his lieutenant governor. So anyway, can you give us the not only the 411, but then also what the impact of any of this is and what it means?
So it breaks down like this. The governor of Virginia, Ralph Northam, who just won an election, and it was a fairly racially charged election. There was a fairly a famous commercial that came out from a super PAC supporting Northam and accusing his opponent, Ed Gillespie, the Republican, of fostering racist hate. It was this ad where a truck, a mean 4x4, was chasing immigrant children or children of color through a neighborhood. It was pretty scaremongery, and then the kids wake up in the middle of the night because this has been a horrifying dream. So Ralph Northam wins. And then you have to wonder what Ed Gillespie's opposition research team was doing with their paychecks when, not but a year into his term, Northam is pictured, or at least here's what it is. It is Ralph Northam's medical school yearbook. All right, that then is that shows a picture of somebody in blackface and somebody in a Klan hood.
Yeah.
Now, all the rest of the pictures are definitely of a college-aged Ralph Northam, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's no doubt. But There's this one picture, and initially, Northam comes out on Friday. This goes fast, by the way. This is like Friday afternoon East Coast time when it first hits. It is Friday evening time by the time that he makes his first statement. And the statement says, I apologize for that photo. He says it in a written statement. He says it in a visual statement, in a video statement that he puts up on Twitter. So everybody assumes that the next day he's going to resign. Except the next morning, everybody starts saying, the reports are, there's a conscious effort that I'm trying to do to stop saying everybody, because I think it's actually killing our society that we just blow everything out of proportion. Right. So reports in around the governor's mansion say Ralph Northam has had a change of heart. He now does not believe that he is in that photo, and he is now going to not resign and fight for the fact that he deserves still to be governor, because this is not him. As
either of those people, blackface or hood guy.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he gets up in one of the funniest press conferences I've ever seen in my entire life and says, it is definitely not me in that photo. I've spoken with a bunch of other people that I went to school with. I know this for this reason. I know for a fact I've never been in a Klan outfit. That's something that I've never done.
Okay.
And I would remember if I was in blackface, because later that same year, I wore blackface to win a dance competition. And I remember that like it was yesterday. So I definitely would have remembered if I was at some party where I was wearing blackface.
You're not making that up. That's a thing he said. That's a reason.
Literally says that he learned how to moonwalk so he could put on blackface as in a Michael Jackson costume, that he had the glove, he had the whole nines, and he won. He wins the dancing competition. A reporter, thank God, doing the Lord's work. Democracy dies in darkness, and we still have a glimmer of light thanks to this brave reporter who asked, can you still moonwalk? He is about to answer, and he looks at his wife, and his wife just says, inappropriate circumstances. And he just looks at the reporter and says, my wife says inappropriate circumstances. Yeah. But that dude wanted to moonwalk.
Yeah. It would have been better if she just would have looked at him and closed her eyes and just shook her head no.
Yeah. Beyond that, he also goes into, he's like, well, I put a little shoe polish under my eyes, talking about the like ins and outs, the X's and O's of blackface. Wow. And he's like, well, like anybody who's done that, it's really hard to get shoe polish off your face. As if it's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We've all done it, right?
Wait, like, so is he trying to say that, all right, playing football, you put a little black under your eyes, shoe polish under your eyes, but as he's trying to rub it off, it's just going all over.
Yeah, that was his reason.
No. He's saying, as we all know, having applied blackface at some point in our lives, shoe polish is a real devil to get off your face once you're done having a good time.
Yeah, why? Okay, so he needs to resign. He's bad at this. Wait, tell me the rest. So there's more that gets piled onto this over the last couple of days, and I think that's when things got really weird.
All this happens within 24 hours, by the way. Before 24 hours, I think. From the first time that the picture drops on a website called Big League Politics, which is a conservative, right-wing, Republican-leaning, whatever you want to call it, blog, before they break that story and he goes up and does this press conference. Within 24 hours from that, Big League Politics, this same website, posts another story about a social media post by a woman who does not name who this man is, but says, imagine you were sexually assaulted in 2004 at the Democratic National Convention. This was when Kerry was running against Bush. You were sexually assaulted, and then 10 years later, you find out that the man who did it had successfully won a big election across the country. She's in California. And now you're watching in horror as he stands to get a very big promotion. So it seems, and Big League Politics connects the dot and says she is talking about Justin Fairfax, the lieutenant governor of Virginia. He would be the man that would become the new governor if and when Ralph Northam resigns.
Okay.
Justin Fairfax decides that he's going to get on top of this. And despite the fact that it's only this website, which you can very easily say from his perspective, look, it's a right-wing blog that's looking to chase, whatever heat they have on this picture thing. Obviously, the picture's been corroborated. My name is not named in the initial social media thing. I'm not going to comment on scurrilous rumors on the internet. No. Justin Fairfax comes out and says, this never happened. I never assaulted that woman. Therefore, for the first time, putting him directly tied to this, right, beyond that blog, and says that not only that, but the Washington Post looked into this and they found that this was absolutely not credible. That there were inconsistencies in the story and effectively exonerated him. So he's treating the Washington Post as if it's a law enforcement agency or some kind of way to kill this. Yeah. Now, let me just tell you, from the perspective of a former reporter, and I would suspect that this is something that only gets bigger the more times you are put in situations where people want to put words in your mouth, they do not take kindly to being used as a screener service for the accusations against public figures. Right. It's just not something that reporters like to do. So the Washington Post. So not only does he connect his name to the allegation, right? And so let's understand before we go any further, the sexual assault thing, that's in a box. According to everything that we know right now, she has a statement. He has a statement. Whoever you and I lean toward believing the woman, but let's understand that we can't know the truth right now. Right. Like from this perspective, we can't. Right. So let's only look at the political fallout here. Justin Fairfax tied himself to the allegation and then basically walked up to a mirror and said Bloody Mary 10 times in invoking the Washington Post. And then, surprise, Bloody Mary appears and says, by the way, now this is a story because you've effectively said you're a part of it. And B, let's go ahead and bring out all the reporting that we did that we didn't want to report before when we would be the ones introducing this into the public record. But if you're the one inviting us to say that we cleared your name, then let's go ahead and bring out all these details. And so they do yesterday. And now Justin Fairfax, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, the one not embroiled in a racist controversy, is threatening to sue the Washington Post for smearing him for releasing the details that he effectively dared them to release in his statement.
Wow.
It's insanity, man. Like, I thought this is how it was going to go, honestly. I heard about it, and I heard the initial thing, and him saying, yeah, I think that's me in my photo. And he did his little apology thing, right? And I remember thinking, no, you're going to have to go. Like, you can't, you're not going to be able to stay in this. And then a pretty big bipartisan effort to encourage him to leave. Like, Democrats, Republicans. I mean, for a while there, everybody was like, your guy doesn't, our guy, there's always that. But most everybody was like, get out of here. You're just go. And I thought that was going to be it. I thought a day later he'd realize, yeah, this is kind of stacked against me. I'll get up and do a resignation. It'll all be very proper.
If anything, like apparently Ed Gillespie's opposition research team was doing the Bird Box Challenge a few years early, considering like all they had to do was look at his yearbooks. Yeah. Like that's now step one, right? Yeah. Step one, look at their yearbooks and see. There's also apparently a nickname that he had a few years earlier in the yearbooks that was racially insensitive.
What was it?
I'm not going to repeat it, but you can look it up yourself. Okay. Yeah.
I'll look that up myself. Hey, I'd like the Washington Post to do it for me.
Let's just say that if his name was Raccoon Man, they could shorten it up.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. That makes sense to me. Yeah, so what do you think what happens from here? Like, how do you fix this mess? It's really dumb. Like, the whole thing is just like a big pile of dumb.
Well, look, the Northam, I don't know how you come back from something like that, specifically in a state like Virginia that has very relevant racial politics and a very checkered racial history, and a racial history that now involves modern politics about like what statues and holidays they want to change or take down or adjust to reflect the modern society. I don't quite know how he can prove that he's not one of those guys, and less that unless he has people inside his government step up, and by that I mean like the Black Caucus of the state of Virginia, or just things that make it seem like he can do his job, then I think he's toast. As for Fairfax, we get into this very, very ugly situation that we just saw with Brett Kavanaugh, where now we have a sexual assault allegation where, you know, it's going to be hard for us judging now beyond a blanket like, all right, well, we always have to believe the woman. We always have to understand that this is historically underreported, that this happens more than we would have thought before. It's hard to make, you know, the judgment to say, all right, well, now you're gone. Right? Like it's gonna, although I don't think this one will necessarily divide on party lines in the same way that the Kavanaugh thing did. But I do think we're effectively facing a mirror version of that kind of stuff, where where people distrust the source, they now distrust the woman, and that I think is gross. And I thought it was gross with Kavanaugh, and I think it's gross here, but what are you going to do? If I were him, I probably would have not dove right. I wouldn't have asked for the buzzsaw to be placed up my nostril. I think that might be a mistake in hindsight, considering it's not as big of an issue until you start yelling and screaming that this is a disgusting act that should not happen. I think that was probably an overreaction politically for him. Actually, and then calling out the Post is just a bad. That's a bad idea. Whoops. I mean, as soon as I read that, I did the politics extra yesterday morning, and I was just like, whew, like you are asking for the Washington Post to just dump their entire reporter's notebook. Every rumor, because now the onus is on them to say, all right, well, no, the public now decides. Because we don't want to be in the business of deciding whether or not she's lying or you're lying. Right. Now the public decides who's lying.
It's an incredibly naive thing to do. Also, here's my metaphor for this entire thing. Cops see a car, the tint is too dark. Stay with me. It's actually, this works. Okay. Because in my state, if your tint on your windows is too dark, you get pulled over and fined, and you're supposed to go retint your windows. I think it's a good metaphor because of the whole blackface thing. So the windows are too tinted. They pull him over. That's our Governor Northam. He's like, oh, shoot. Sorry, officer. I guess I do have these too dark. Okay, well, I guess I can fix that. And then the guy in the back seat has a load of weed on him and goes, this isn't my weed. I promise my friend gave me this weed. He's lying if he says anything else.
Right.
Oh, by the way, that's the other thing, is now Fairfax is leaking to anybody who will listen that it's Northam that's leaking the information about Fairfax.
His lieutenant governor. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
That it's Northam who's leaking the information to the same website that headshotted Northam, which would seem very, very Machiavellian for somebody who was offering to moonwalk at a press conference not but 48 hours ago. But
I wish he would have so bad. I wish he would have moonwalked. That would have made all this better. Well,
hey, do you want to talk about this Fire Festival thing? People were asking about this Fire Festival thing on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. So somebody was saying, I still don't know what people are talking about, but I also have no time to follow up. But somebody said that F. Jerry controversy right now that's going on with comedians trying to shut down that Instagram account. He steals jokes and reposts and blah, blah, blah. That's all going on. And they did, in that Fire Festival thing on Netflix, they did interview the founder of that account. And
no. F. Jerry produced it.
So that was my question. He did, because I couldn't find any producing credits attributed to them
No. They produced the documentary, which is the reason why all that footage is in there. Like they have
because they were there,
insane.
Right?
Yeah, so they were shooting it. They were shooting all the footage for all the videos and everything. So that's why they have every like little bit of footage of Billy McFarland falling asleep in the sand, and every little toast of Ja Rule and Billy McFarland, hamming it up, and everything with the models and everything with everything going wrong by the end of it. Like that documentary is built on that footage, and I don't think that you would be able to do it without F. Jerry's cooperation.
Interesting, because the way that the founder of that account was portrayed was they're not there's nothing up front about this. They don't say anything about them being behind any of this or producing any of it. I mean,
I don't know whether or not they get a title card or something like that.
If they were involved in production, then they should probably get. There should be something should be said, right? Like just because if you're in the middle of it, it's kind of like saying it'd be like if Ja Rule made this documentary and then didn't say anything, because they're not in these credits. Like there's I forgot the guy's name, but the F. Jerry guy's he's a dude with a name, with a real name, and he's not anywhere in this like IMDb stuff or any of that. So I'm confused about
I don't know if it was like their company. Like basically it would be like Paramount Pictures or something that supplied the money and the footage for it, or they got another producer that came in and worked with them to do interviews and secure the rights to the footage. I'm not sure, but I forget where I heard it, but I was definitely aware from the first time that I saw it that they did it. Now, whether or not they needed to disclose it more is a different story, but I will say I don't like that account. I've thought that they've been scumbags since the jump, when they were cutting out credit on stuff so they could continue to build their following. That being said, I don't think that they were any more complicit in the fact that there was a gigantic con going on than any of the other vendors that they were working with. I mean, the reason why they're made out to be worse than the people that were supplying the water, or the people that were supplying the bathrooms, people that were supplying the liquor, is because both documentaries made the story about this can only happen in 2016. This can only happen to millennials. This can only happen on Instagram, which I think is a little bit of a faulty premise. I think people have been taken in by scams and cons for as long as history's gone. Yes, this is a different method by which to do it, but I don't think it necessarily speaks to some central core element of a generation any more than Billy McFarland proved the age-old trick to have a success with $1 million. Start with $1 billion. He just spent a gigantic amount of money that he didn't have and kept asking for down payments, with the idea being that once they got to the end of it, they would have this gigantic property, but there never was going to be a gigantic property. It was always going to be one scam to pay for the last scam. And that's what happened. And look, I think, Scott, I know we've had conversations about people that don't pay you by the end, and projects that seem shady when it's happening. And at a certain point, you have to make a decision. Well, I can either put my flag in the ground right now and say, from here no farther, and understand that I'm never getting paid. Or I can keep going and hope I get to the finish line and hope there's some little squirt of money somewhere and I can grab whatever I can, and then I can never talk to this person again. And, when you're a freelancer, which they are an advertising company, they work on a per client basis, I can very much understand that idea that, look, some things look like disasters leading into it, and then the event goes fine. Right? Not everything looks... I think it's easier to say in hindsight that they are complicit on a level. Now, again, I don't think they're good guys, but I don't know if this is their greatest sin. I think their sin is building their entire brand on the backs of free labor and cutting out the credit for them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It happened to one of my comics once. I can't find it, though. I think they deleted it, but I had my Mario Blue Shell comic got posted on their Instagram account once with no credit. And with all this, I just kind of blew it off at the time. This is years ago. But with all this recent stuff, I'm like, ooh, I should find that. And I don't know, be mad with everyone else. And I couldn't find it. So I don't know if it got taken or what happened. But anyway, I agree with you 100%. Also, I really agree with the idea that a scam like this is unique to this generation. It's horseshit. I mean, some of the circumstances are unique, but it's only because we live when we live. Just like there were circumstances unique to Bernie Madoff during his heyday, there were circumstances unique to Enron or any other weird scam that may have occurred in any time of life. There were circumstances that worked for snake oil salesmen in the Old West that didn't exist up until that time. So whatever.
I do think that there is probably something that you can draw to, like, scams that are unique to eras where there are information gaps. And now we're in a very fascinating moment in cultural history, IMO, in that we have these information gaps because we have unlimited information. That because everybody knows everything and everybody's focused everywhere, there are these moments where somebody does something and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know this was a thing. Like, I'm blown away that this is, what secret do they have? How are they doing this? And now I think we're more inclined in a world where people are building rockets and creating self-driving cars, things we thought were impossible 3 years ago now are probable, if not on the market, that you can say, like, oh, well, I mean, and also he kind of did it. Billy McFarland kind of did it. If you have $1 billion, you can certainly create $1 million property. Like, that was his secret, was just pay for the best in everything. And like, give everybody everything they want using the best tools, with no regard for what the budget is. And it's like, if that's the case, then yeah, he lit a gigantic pile of money on fire and attracted a lot of people.
Yeah, I really enjoyed both documentaries. So everybody wants me to freak out about this. I keep getting these messages. What do you think about this controversy of FDR involved? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'll figure it out, but give me a minute. Like, they all want this, like, statement. I'm like, I don't have a statement to give. I don't know what you're talking about. I know that was an entertaining documentary.
I don't know. I would push back a little bit on the, like, complicit thing, just because it's hard when the world revolves, when the sun is a total con, right? And everybody is orbiting around, and all you're doing is you're looking around to everybody else, and you're like, well, everybody else that would be here at a major launch with a lot of money behind it is all here. All the bands are here. They've secured the top, everything else. Like, I guess either the entire thing is a total con, or it's probably just a poorly run festival. And I think that it would probably, if I were them, I would probably also talk myself into the idea that it was a poorly run festival, and it's our job to make it look as good as possible. But beyond that, I know there's also the other thing with an advertising company. If you bail on somebody at the 11th hour, that's bad.
That's very
bad.
Like,
that's really bad for your reputation. Like, you are basically betting your entire and all of your employees' livelihoods on this festival will go bust. Like, they were betting on that to happen, because if it goes off without a hitch, or at least completes, right? Let's say it's half a disaster. If it's half a disaster, guess who's getting blamed? You're getting blamed, and you're probably getting sued.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. The whole thing I find crazy interesting, and I'm so glad I'm not involved in any of it. In fact, one of my favorite things is the total amount of people that showed up for that thing is like an average Nerdtacular. And it got me to thinking how much better we were at putting on what we needed to put on, fulfilling what we needed to promise. It's a much smaller scale. I realize that. We're not promising bands. We're not talking about the greatest next musical festival. None of that. But we were able to outdo ourselves every time, as stressful as it was. And I saw that going down, and I'm just like, oh, man. What a horrible feeling this is. For everybody who is involved in just making it work. Not him. He's a bozo. There's other people I think are complicit in all this. My own opinions. But there are people that worked really hard to try to fulfill the vision and just couldn't, because it's physically impossible to do what Billy put on the line to do, and the timeline they did it. And I just thought, yeah, we were all right at making these things. Like, I don't know. It's weird how I came away from that. It's like watching Cops. If you're having a bad day, go watch Cops. There's a naked guy in a car with meth falling out of his butthole, screaming at a policeman with his face blurred out. You're having a better day than he is.
Probably.
By far.
Most likely, you are definitely having a better day. Speaking of specious festivals, what's the deets with Vegas?
It's happening.
Vegas is happening.
Yeah. It's happening. It's the final weekend of the thing, which I think I've already told you about. But the actual cool rad thing is just pending a contract and let's call it a letter.
A confirmation letter.
There you go.
Approval letter.
Once those happen,
we're hoping to get that today.
We're gonna go and just explode with information about how rad it's gonna be.
But jury, you're gonna want to just you don't even want to care about what's in that contract, what's in that letter. You want to sign up today. Like, get your plane tickets, get your hotel, get.
I actually have. I have my plane tickets. I didn't get any hotel information. What's the hotel information?
We should give you
have
that.
you not gone to VivaTMSVegas.com to get the?
No, normally last year I got a text message to tell me before they went on sale.
You got a text message to say go check out the Slack, and you join the Slack, and we need to put the information.
That's true. But if you go to VivaTMS Vegas,
I'll get you a text message with the info.
Yeah,
there's a room for you.
It's all on there. You're covered, and it's a way better deal, and it's going to be awesome. And if we get this thing worked out the way it's supposed to today or tomorrow, some of it is just, I mean, actually we've done, Brian in particular, we've kind of done all we can do for this announcement, and so we're just waiting for other people at this point.
Yeah.
So we just need
the whole rest of it is figured out. We just need we're waiting for a thing that we're going to get at some point today or tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I mean, we can tell you off air. I just don't want to say to the audience.
Yeah. Do you want to text me and I'll just give a big reaction?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll tell you what it is because it's pretty awesome, and there's no reason why you couldn't know. But just don't tell listeners because if for some reason it doesn't happen, we're still gonna have a great event. We just have to adjust.
Oh no, totally. And by the way, it's so funny because I'm currently trying to figure out stuff for South by, which is on a much shorter porch, so I can totally understand just sitting by your email, waiting for other people to tell you things.
Yeah.
On whether or not it's everything that you want in life is happening,
yeah,
or if you're just gonna keep waiting.
I understand.
Wait, text message.
Just sit in your rocking chair.
Oh my God!
That's exactly what we needed. That's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, that's the kind of reaction we need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh crap! I should have taken a sip of coffee. So
you got a spit take.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then you got to clean up your computer and
then Discord will never work. By the way, working swimmingly today. I don't know what changed, but good job. Well done.
Well, I tried to put in a few extra things. Although, are you still getting an echo of my voice?
None today.
No.
Okay. I was hearing a little bit of an echo, but that might just be.
Yeah, I'm not getting any. They did do a patch that was supposed to improve a bunch of stuff on video. Maybe that.
I actually also did some things on my end, so hopefully it wasn't feeding in.
So Justin 2.0 is what we're getting. All right, tell us what's going on. You got anything happening this week you want people to be aware of?
Yes, there are a lot of things happening. Night Attack tonight, twitch.tv/Night Attack. If you are in the Texas area, the weekend of March 8th and 9th, there will be another Night Attack South by So Wasted show. However, this is going to be unlike any other in our past. We are trying to do it bigger and better. We got some special guests possibly coming in. So go ahead and check that out on Night Attack tonight. Although I don't know why I'm telling you to come check it out because I have no news. But just know that if you were thinking about doing South by, this is a good year to come do South by.
All signs point to rad year for South by. South by Southwest for those who aren't hip. It's South by Southwest is the full
South by Southwest. And by the way, it's the first weekend, the March 8th and 9th weekend. South by Southwest Interactive. So you're gonna get to go live off the fat of the land as all these tech companies, make all sorts of fancy things for your enjoyment walking down 6th Street.
Are you the next Twitter? Come on down. Are you a band? Come on down. Are you a fan of Night Attack? Also go. Bye, Justin. We'll see you later. He waved. That was cute.
Yes.
Nice. All right, let's get to. Well, there's a little bit of drama in the chat room there while we were going. Did you see that?
I know. Yeah.
I got a little. Someone rage quit. I timed out free hotel room again because he likes to come in and be an a-hole.
Oh, did he really? Yeah. Did he come in and flame out?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what his deal was.
I didn't see him.
And that's fine, but I don't know what that was about. Actually, some people have said what it was about, but this guy got in an argument. Not with us, nothing we were saying, but got so mad at whoever he was arguing with in the chat room that he rage quit all the shows. He's unsubbing from all the shows.
Well, he's claiming to.
So what I think is, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you got to go that hard, I don't know that you belong in this community is a little different than that. So enjoy. All right. Hey, look at this email I'm about to read. This came to us from Brian Mansfield. Mansfield, get in here. Subject is the word gymnasium. And the message is this: Scott, maybe this will help you tolerate the word gymnasium. The word comes from the Greek. From Greek. In ancient Greece, the gymnasium was a place for socialization and sport. Sport was done in the nude. Gymnasium quite literally means, in the language, the place to be nude. All right.
I love it. I'm trying to figure out the, I guess Nasium is the place, right? And then Jim is nude. Sorry,
Jim. Is Jim nude? Jim is nude?
Jim is nude.
All right. Jim is nude.
Jim I thought was human or something like that.
Oh, is human nude? No. Humans are nude.
Human place.
The human nude place.
Yeah,
welcome to Nudes R Us.
Now I gotta look. I'll have to look at that.
The Audi turd. Got it. All right. We're done. Let's be done and out. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website. I encourage you to go there. Get all the stuff you need. Dear listeners, dear viewers. If you'd like to watch the show live, it happens every morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, right here at frogpants.tv. Come be with us. Be a part of this rad community. And if you feel like supporting us, patreon.com/TMS is a great place to do that. It matters greatly. It is the reason we're able to do the show as often as we do it, despite the fact that we set it up to be not that great of a deal for us. It's still a really great deal for you. So go check it out.
Yes.
Patreon.com/TMS. Brian, let's get out of here. Do you have music to take us out, please?
Yep. So, by the way, I looked it up. So, Gumnos is naked. Gymnasium is exercise naked. So it's not even the building. It's, hey, exercise naked.
Exercise naked.
Yeah.
You should do that for your next D&D themed workout session with your friend. You should be naked.
Sure, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Get your doodle out.
I'd be doing that if I wasn't going to this dentist appointment. So, huzzah? Yeah. I don't know.
Text and let me know how that goes, will you? Because I'm thinking of you, man. I know that you're going to hear that. And you're going to see all the smoke, and you're going to smell your own teeth burning.
Yes, the burning smell. I know. Just give me an Oculus, or just knock me out. Something.
No good.
All right. Squishy Squid wrote in, aren't they all? And said, "Good morning, sausage and bacon. Haven't listened since TMS 1 and now everything that you guys produced. I've said that I would request a song for my birthday every year, but this will be the first time I've gotten around to it. One of my favorite songs you've played was the Doc Brown duo cover of What's My Age Again. I know how much you love it, Scott. I trust the cover master can find a similar song, and I would love to hear what he comes up with. I hope to one day be able to meet you guys, but as a Brit, I can't get to Vegas too easily. I guess I'll have to save some money for next year. Love the show, though. Oh, and 1930, signed Andy Foster, the Squishy Squid."
I'm going to play 1930 for him.
Of course, yeah.
Here you go. Hold on. Here we go.
1930, 1930, 1930, 1930.
That's a lot longer in its original form. I cut it way down.
Yeah, it's 24 and a half minutes of that.
Yeah.
And by the way, he says, "P.S. Congratulations on little tadpole, Scott." And P.P.S. You guys had me screaming at the radio with the mum and ma'am discussion from from Bodyguard. We pronounce it as marm, M-A-R-M.
Yeah.
Marm.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so that Doc Brown duo cover of What's My Age Again is acoustic. It's an acoustic version. So that's what I was going for with this. Just picked up an album that I'm loving. It's called Acoustic Throwback 90s Rhythm and Blues, and it's put together by a guy named Ernie Halter. And he goes back to the 90s and all this R&B stuff like Blackstreet, TLC, Bobby Brown, that stuff in that vein, and the track that I decided to play, good old Belle Biv DeVoe's "Poison," performed here by Ernie Halter. This is great. Enjoy this.
All right, well, let's play this. This sounds great to me. We'll be back tomorrow. Come on back now tomorrow for Wednesday things, and that'll be great. Also, let's see what else is going on later today. Tuesday. What are Tuesdays? Oh, Current Geek tonight. Tom's back. He's back from Hawaii, so we're doing a Current Geek. We're doing that. Whoa, sound like said something else, but I'll take it.
So much hassle from Current Geek.
Thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you then. I'm trying to find my cue. Hold on. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. That's your life.